ready to get going here in Pittsburgh. Pitt making the debut in the black uniforms. Match up well, very locally appropriate gold versus black uniform matchup, and ACC play is underway from Pittsburgh. Cal will start in possession. That one goes as far as Lee on the back line and back up to the midfield. We've seen Pitt in the early part of games, Rachel, sort of trying to get their footing a little bit, not necessarily super strong in possession in the first 10 minutes or so in games, but it's taken some time, and Cal trying to maybe jump on that early in this game today.
Yeah, for the first couple slates of non-conference games, especially at home, Pitt has come out ready and just hasn't been able to make those connecting passes. They've come out of the locker room a little slow, and then they go into the halftime break, go into the locker room, regroup, and been coming out almost like a new team. Last game that kind of flip-flopped against Bucknell, with the Panthers coming out really strong in the first half and then just kind of faltering a little bit in the second half, giving up that goal.
Cal working on that far side of the field to start things off. Shot from just outside the box goes over the net from Bond Flash, and that's how we get things going. Abby Rice in net for the Panthers. Maybe a bit of a surprise coming into this, because Ellie Breach was kind of the primary goalkeeper from last season. Then you have Rice coming in. Gave her some competition in the last two seasons in the non-conference part of the schedule, but they go with Rice in the ACC opener this year. I
always love talking with Coach Ben Waldrum about the goalkeeping situation, because every coach will tell you it's an open competition. There is never a dead set goalkeeper, no matter who starts and how often they start. But Abby Rice coming in, she had a very good non-conference slate. Both Ellie Breach and Abby Rice were both 2-1-1 in their non-conference games, but both have really good strengths that differ from one another. Ellie Breach is very good at playing with, she's very good about playing with her feet. Abby Rice is really good about getting in the air and making those tough saves and kind of pushing it over the bar.
Abby Rice in her last game came on September the 4th against Cincinnati, allowed 1 goal on 4 shots. Has 1 clean sheet to her name, mentioned that identical record to that of Breach at 2-1-1. The transfer from Tennessee came over here after the 2023 season, trying to make a name for herself in the Steel City in her redshirt junior season. Cal in possession again, back as far as Rourke, who tries to chip it out and clear it. She'll bring that as far as Bond Flash. Here's Doherty, one of the players that Coach McGuire spoke very highly of. Played a full 90 minutes 6 times so far this season. One of the consistent presence on the back line for those Cal Golden Bears, number 4 in yellow. Chance here in the box. Pass goes just far of Kostmeyer. Maybe a step and a half too late on that one, but a good inlet pass, and first real quality opportunity I think we've seen from either side so far.
Yeah, and the ball kept curving and curving and curving, and Abby Rice had to go chase that one down. But good defensive work there. Sage Stelzer getting in front, being able to put herself between the ball and the attacker.
Kostmeyer pretty much the focal point of this Cal attack that lost Carly Lima from last season, who was 10th in Division I with 16 goals. So a huge loss there for Cal up front. We talked to Coach McGuire about losing so many players from last season, specifically on front, and how they're sort of trying to fill those shoes by committee with a bunch of different players getting some playing time consistently for the first time in their careers.
Yeah, and he's looking for that standout player to kind of become that new Carly Lima. So far with Lumi Kostmeyer too, she has something that a lot of forwards don't have, and that's height. She's 5'11", so she's a really big, strong presence, kind of towering over that back line for Pitt.
See Neil McGuire in his 19th season. Picked up his 200th win with Cal earlier this year, 5 away from 250 in his collegiate career. Also spent time as the head coach of Texas Tech and Mississippi State as well. So a very accomplished name at the helm for the Golden Bears.
And I think a lot of this game for Cal, and I'm certain that Coach McGuire preached to his team leading into this, is, hey, for the first 10, 15 minutes, we got to get used to this field. This is the first time that Cal has ever played at Ambrose Urbanic. It's a turf field. They're used to playing on grass. That ball zips a lot more. Although the weather conditions are pretty favorable for Cal, there's not a cloud in sight, there's no rain. That makes that ball go a little bit more slick. But the first 10, 15 minutes here for Cal is, don't be surprised to see, and don't be worried if you see some turnovers from the Golden Bears. They are going to be getting used to this field.
Certainly one of those things as well, playing into the home field advantage for the Panthers. Another one of those, of course, in the new environment of college sports, Cal having to cross 3 time zones in order to play here. We talked to Coach McGuire about that adjustment, said he brought in a sleep specialist last year to try and talk to his players about how to make that adjustment on the fly. A very tough environment, of course, going to play these talented teams on the Eastern Seaboard while you're a team on the West Coast joining the very talented conference to begin with, and then you got to battle the time change as well. So bit of an uphill battle here for Cal in the last couple of seasons. They've handled it well so far.
I think that's really interesting, too, about the sleep specialist, and that just shows how much care and effort that a program is taking into making sure that their players are healthy and prepared and taken care of. You see their records on the East versus the West Coast. There is a lot of adjustment here, and guess what? On Sunday, they're going right there to Clemson, another East Coast team, another field that they've never played on before. So it's a big adjustment period for Cal being in the ACC.
Pitt with a free kick opportunity here. Pretty decent header into the box, looking for some more help there. Can't find it, though. Goes out as far as Archibald, who pokes it back in, but Cal brings it out with possession. Wells battling on the outside, and she'll win the throw-in for the Panthers. Lucia Wells, someone who's a bit of a Swiss Army knife for this Panthers team. We've seen her play back, we've seen her play up. Playing more up today, it seems, against Cal.
The game we like to play is, where's Lucia Wells? It's almost like, where's, Carmen Sandiego, but where is Lucia Wells going to be on the field? It's always funny when she played more of those defensive roles that there's a number 9 playing defense. That never happens in soccer. The number 9 is traditionally an attacking player, but she can do it all, Lucia Wells. She is one of those players that it could be the 5th minute or the 85th minute, and she's still giving you 100% speed and effort. She is just, I think Swiss Army knife is a great way to put it, Zach. She is just that utility player that all that matters for her is getting on the pitch and contributing in some form.
And you mentioned these teams playing a couple times a week and really fierce competition. You're going to have some injuries as well. And Lucia Wells, one of those players who can really alleviate some of that concern because of her versatility. This one back as far as Rice. Both teams sort of still in this feeling out process in the early going. One shot for Cal, none for the Panthers. That shot from Cal not on goal. So no real grade A chances for either side through about 7 minutes of play here. Here's Dabo. In the middle looking for Ellermeyer. Back as far as Rice. Katie Ellermeyer, another player on this Pitt team, leads the team in goals. A bit of a surprise in the early part of the season. One of the freshmen coming in with no collegiate experience prior to this, but has a kind of a lot of energy. You see her hustling all around the field. I mentioned those 4 goals that lead the team. All came in the first 4 games. Talked to Coach Ben Waldrum about her earlier on in the year. She said she's small, but certainly doesn't play like it.
Yeah, and it's such a good story, too, because she is a player who, coming into this Pitt program, maybe she would have been 2nd or 3rd on that depth chart, but very early into preseason training, sat down with Ben Waldrum and he said, listen, Katie Ellermeyer has practiced and done well in scrimmages enough to move up to 1-2 in that depth chart. So to be able to come out, join a team that, yes, of course, Pitt is not returning a lot of players. They needed some help on that, especially on the goal-scoring front. The leading returning goal scorer was Magali Gagne with 4 goals, and we have to be realistic when talking about this as well, because 3 of the 4 came against Mercyhurst in 1 game. So your leading goal scorer technically has only scored against 2 teams, right? And so you need some help on that attacking front, and so Katie Ellermeyer has been a spark. She's been quiet in these last couple games. Ben Waldrum said, I need to see more from her. I need her to be good. I need Lola Abraham to be good in this game. They want to get the ACC started on a hot note. especially with Stanford coming to town.
Doherty through ball looking for Kursand, and she's able to gather possession. Pitt coming back on defense to try and bring some reinforcements as the ball goes back out as far as Hills. Here is Ben Waldrum in his first season at the helm for the Panthers. First season, but kind of not first season, because he's been involved in this coaching staff for such a long time, with his father Randy being the longtime coach here at Pitt prior to him. But certainly less of an adjustment for most with Ben Waldrum stepping into that role.
Yeah, just seamless is the right word to use, and even Coach Neil McGuire said that when we were talking to him. The transition has been seamless for the players, for the other members of the coaching staff, just for pretty much anyone. Even from a recruiting standpoint, it's not, oh hey, we're having a massive change in head coach, so it's going to be tough to recruit. No, it's somebody who for the last 6 years has had the title of associate head coach. So he is very well ingrained into the program. He knows what to do, and in a way, kind of gets the boss's dad around now too.
Yeah, we see Randy Waldrum still on the field quite a bit, so it's not like he has gone too far from the program in his time outside of the head coaching role. But nonetheless, Ben trying to put the pieces together on this young season for the Panthers. Very new coach, very new team for Pitt in 2025.
Well, to your point about Randy still being very involved and on the sideline there, I remember going to preseason training. It was maybe the 10th or 9th training that Pitt had this season. And Olivia Lee came up next to me and Ben Waldrum and said, oh my gosh, it is so good to have Randy here. And for a minute, we both stopped and went, what do you mean? Randy's been here. He hasn't been at preseason for the past couple years. Being the coach of the Nigerian national team meant he was gone for a very big chunk of preseason training. And so it's been so crucial having Randy back.
Misplay there gives Lola Abraham possession. Maybe had a chance on the transition going the other way, but can't quite get through that Cal back line, as they'll bring it back and regather on the right side. Doherty. Off to her left with Kivo, and now with Hills. That Cal back line missing a few players from their normal rotation. Hills and Doherty, the two regulars, but otherwise trying to keep the pieces together here tonight in the ACC opener. Both of these teams dealing with a bit of injuries in the early part of the season. As that one goes out of play, a little over a half hour to play in this first half.
Cal certainly lucky that ball went out of play. Nobody there on that left wing to get the ball for the Panthers, but a great tackle from Mari Amadabo to get that ball. Just nobody there to pick up that ball going wide.
Here's Tegan Y. Haven't had to say her name too much so far tonight, but according to her head coach, Neil McGuire, she is the best goalkeeper in the country. Now, you can have a debate about that, but at the same time, speaks to the kind of quality that Cal puts forward in net with Y.
Yeah, she's been outstanding, and in my opinion, to be able to return a player, if you were to pick any position to return one player and you had to start new with anybody else, you'd pick your goalkeeper, because they see the whole entire field. They're the anchor of your back line. They are the best communicators on the pitch because they don't have to look behind them. They just have to look forward. Tegan Y has been exceptional. She has some international experience as well with the U.S. U20 team. She has just been outstanding. You saw in the pregame graphic, 14 saves in the last 2 games.
Cutting in Kursand off to her right. Cal trying to break through this Pitt back line. Seltzer working on Dimry on the outside. Some contact there between Abraham, and it goes out of play. Yeah, you mentioned these players. A lot of them have international experience. Tegan Y really has international experience. Won the bronze medal as a member of that U20 World Cup team for the United States and played as the starting goalkeeper. So certainly a focal point of the success that that team had as that one goes out of play behind the net of Rice.
Yeah, I think whether it be this season or very early next year, whatever she may decide to do, whatever the road takes her, I think you could start seeing her get called up in that U23 camp, which usually trains with the senior national team. I think she has just been playing out of her mind exceptionally, and as she gets older, she's going to mature into these older national teams.
Someone who certainly has their eyes set on the next level as Olivia Lee pushes that one out of play. We've seen Cal more in control in the final third than Pitt so far early on in the game, but they still haven't really been able to get that final pass to set up a quality opportunity as of yet.
Yeah, Pitt's playing very defensively at home to start out this game. Like you said, just a ton of pressure from Cal coming in right now. Testing this back line very, very early. But the back line of the Panthers has been one of the bright spots this year, which is saying something because not only are you rotating your goalkeeping unit, but Katie Zalski's out for potentially the whole year with a hip injury. And so Sophie Rourke, especially Holly Tickle, has come in. Just players have performed exceptionally well. Maya Archibald was a big get. It seems like Sage Stelzer on that left side has really settled in comfortably.
Crowd tonight reacting to that slightly early throw-in from Cal. They're a pretty decent crowd here at Ambrose Urbanic Field. The debut of the black uniforms coming with those flags as well, as this one goes to the outside. Pitt trying to develop something on the outside. And it will go out of play. First corner kick opportunity of the night coming up for the Panthers.
First big test here coming from Tegan Y, and one of the big question marks of the non-conference play and just coming into this season was who is going to be taking these corner kicks. It's been Katie Ellermeyer for the most part. Sarah Shapansky obviously doing it last year and previous years.
Pretty good ball in, that one just high and wide. Off of the head of Ellie Rowlands that time. So a pretty good opportunity there. You mentioned Sarah Shapansky, the de facto kicker for all of these set-piece opportunities for the Panthers last season. And Ellermeyer's done a pretty solid job. Solid delivery into the box this time, and that one just missed.
I mean, there was nobody next to Ellie Rowlands as well. Just completely wide open, just got the ball just not quite hitting the right part of her forehead, sending it over the bar, but she's able to get her head on that. That's a pretty decent shot on goal, but nice corner kick taken by Katie Ellermeyer. That's an area that she's been working really hard on. Obviously, huge shoes to fill there.
Here's Margaret Wild. We talked about her in the open as someone who provided a lot of help off the bench in the early part of the season for the Panthers. Has moved her way into the pretty consistent starting 11, it seems, making her third consecutive start now, but someone who Pitt's going to kind of lean upon up there up top. Haven't really had much opportunity tonight, though. That shot from Rowlands, the first of the evening from the Panthers. Shot clock even at 1 for each side. Here's Kivo giving back to Tegan Watt. A little under a half hour to play in half number 1. Pretty conservative play so far from both teams in the early going. Stelzer gets ahead on that one. Lee now trying to control, and she's pressured by Kosmeyer. Kosmeyer wins it over, but Lucia Wells takes that one away. Something we talked to Coach Ben Waldron about, an issue with this Pitt team early on in the season is really being able to build the attack. Almost all of the goals Pitt has scored this season have come in transition, and they haven't really been able to sort of build from the back and keep these sustained attacks going. You see it again there on the intercept from Wells. Just not a lot of numbers forward for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think finishing in the final third, that was the name of the game last year as well. When we talked to Coach Ben, saying, listen, if we put some shots away against Stanford, if we put a couple shots away against North Carolina or Duke, okay, we're talking about maybe a trip to the NCAA tournament, even the ACC tournament. But this year, especially, for me personally, I feel like the Panthers do a great job getting it from the defense to the midfield, and then they get it into the attacking half, right above the penalty area. And there seems to be a lot of hesitancy, a lot of dancing with the ball, just not a lot of turning and taking the shot. And granted, you want to take a good shot, right? You can't just blast from 30 yards out. We don't have Ellie Caulfield on this team anymore. But there needs to be more taking the shot, taking the chance, getting the cross in. There's been a lot of dancing with the ball at the top of the box.
Bond flash up the left side. Kursand, nice move to get around Dabo there. She's got some room to work, but the nice defensive play from Archibald cancels that out. Ellermeyer giving chase. That one cleared ahead down the left side, and here is Kursand again. Been in possession a lot in the early going. Kursand almost got around 2 defenders there, but turns around and will reset with Cal in the final third again. Ellermeyer on the defensive play that time, takes it away. Looking upfield for Wild, won't win that foot race. Tegan Wyatt comes off her line and comfortably feels that on the outside of the box.
I think so far Maya Archibald has been having a really nice game, not afraid to make those sliding tackles, get in front of the defender.
Kosmeyer a chance behind the defense, Rice with the save. Best opportunity for either side so far tonight, and Rice comes up big.
Absolutely big from Abby Rice. As a goalkeeper, you have to make that play and commit to it 100%, and she does that, getting herself big against the tall Kosmeyer.
Dimmery trying to keep the pressure on. Inlet pass goes to the outside of the box, looking for Kosmeyer again on the doorstep. Rebound goes out, and they score. It's Kursand on the doorstep, and it's 1-0 Cal.
Kursand gets on the board, just able to pickpocket Abby Rice in the defense. She had that little opening there. Rice just couldn't get back there in time. But excellent play, a beautiful through ball. Olivia Lee trying to direct her team, calm her team down at home, down early. You see on this play as well, Lucia Wells even comes back and helps on the defensive side. But the
Looked
ball,
like Archibald and Rourke got lost a little bit there.
A little bit. It looks like they were trying to figure out, okay, who's going to defend the first ball, the first player, but then completely left Kursand wide open and left Lucia Wells alone to deal with her.
Cal strikes first. You felt the pressure building a little bit there in those 2 or so minutes leading up to the goal. Cal with a couple shots. Rice had to make the big save, but unable to make the one that goes in on Kursand. First goal to open up ACC play for Cal. Wild goes down there looking for a whistle, doesn't get it though, and Cal's back in possession, moving the other way with numbers. Hills back to Kivo. Elham Kursand has played 40 minutes in every game, 9 shots, 1 assist this season, her first goal of the campaign. The freshman from El Dorado Hills, California, comes through big for Cal in the first half. Mentioned the critical nature of that first goal for both sides, and Cal trying to build off that momentum and get number 2 here.
And Cal, for the first time playing here at Ambrose Urbanic, certainly playing with no fear at all. So many numbers up right now, pressuring the Panthers. Panthers don't have anybody near the attack. You mentioned a little bit earlier, Zach, about how their opportunities, their goals have come off of those transition pieces and getting one leg up.
Kursand the chip into the hands of Rice, and that was a well-earned goal for Kursand as well. She has been on the ball for a lot of this game for Cal, doing the work down low and gets rewarded for it. Here's Olivia Lee, trying to turn the momentum a little bit in this first half of play. Rowlands trying to give off to Wild, but the pass goes short there, and Cal will clear out of play.
I think that's been a really frustrating point for the Panthers this year, is just those sloppy giveaways. Those are things that need to be tightened and fine-tuned during the non-conference play. When you're playing in the ACC, as we discussed multiple times, I'd love to hear an argument against it being the toughest conference in the nation, and you can't make those silly mistakes.
Ellermeyer from way out misses wide. Looking for the extra pass there, Rachel, maybe?
You know what? Even if not, if it's a shot, I like it. You want to get a shot to try to get something, some form of confidence. You want to go towards the net. She didn't really have the numbers there with her, so why not wind up, take the shot, and see what happens?
Back to the middle with Kloss. Looking for Kosmeyer, giving chase to Archibald, who has to make the composed pass back to Rice, with Kursan breathing down her back. Bond flash up. Here's Wells. Trying to get the corner. Can't do so. Nice defensive play by Hills. Hills, the native of Germany, had some NCAA experience last season with the team and played for Germany in the U20 World Cup a couple years ago. So some international experience for her as well, providing some stability on the Cal back line. Ellermeyer pushing forward, looking for Wild, trying to win the foot race, and wisely comes off her line to bring that one in. Player still down in the box for Cal. It's Doherty, but she makes her way back to her feet. Will stay in play.
Something that we talked about off mic that was very interesting was how local Cal's roster is. There's a couple internationals on the roster, but primarily a very California heavy-based roster. You don't see that a lot with ACC teams. It's pretty, not to say easy, but it is kind of easy to recruit for the best conference in the U.S. You're not going to have teams saying, I don't know if I want to go play for Cal or Clemson or, Pitt, Boston College, whomever it may be. It's not often you see a very, very local roster on an ACC team, but a ton of California players and West Coast players in general.
Kursan looks to be shaken up a little bit. Got stepped on by Dabo there. Looking to run that one off as Dabo back in possession gives to Rowlands. Here's Archibald. Working on Kursan. In the middle, looking for Abraham, who can't get a foot on that one, and it will go out of play. Early thoughts for the Panthers, Rachel?
I think just too many giveaways between the midfield and the forward line. I think the defense looks a little rattled as well, which is kind of shocking because they have played really, really well this year. I don't know, maybe switching Lucia Wells up top has kind of thrown a wrench into it, but again, she's so versatile. She plays on that wing, so she can easily go up and down, and we saw her do that against Bucknell. I mean, we've seen her do that almost against every team. She finds her way to get up at some point. But just all around, I think the Panthers, they're playing extremely defensively at home. And I think that they need to flip the script and start getting some numbers in the attack. Making those short connecting passes, not these long balls that you hope, hey, we've got one black shirt against 4 yellow shirts. Let's hope she gets it.
Ellermeyer holding, moving up the rush for the Panthers with Wild. Panthers with some speed going the other way. Wild cuts in, tries it with the left foot. No problem there for Y.
And I think that's a decent shot, but at the same time, at that point, you still only have Ellermeyer and you have Lola Abraham coming up. Why not pull back a little bit? Make a pass, wait until Dabo and Rowlands and Lucia Wells can get up in the attack as well. Get those numbers, because every time Pitt gets the ball, that back line for Cal is bringing 4 players. So you're going to have 4 versus 2 or 4 versus 3.
Here's Hills. Nice move to get around Wells there. Hills moving up and giving off to Kursand. Cal's been liking that left side so far.
They really have, and they've been keeping Maya Archibald and Sophie Rourke busy, and you have to wonder if that's by design from the coaching staff. Hey, you know, Maya Archibald, she's a junior, but she's new to this program. Sophie Rourke is a freshman. Hey, let's go target that left side where those two are. We know that Olivia Lee and Sage Stelzer are experienced, especially Olivia Lee on that left side. Let's target the quote-unquote weaker side, the newer side, the inexperienced side.
He's quickly trying to move the other way after she picks that one up, rolls it out to Stelzer. And now Panthers working on the far side of the field again with Lola Abraham, but can't get around a defender that time. Able to regain possession though and moving towards the middle. Cal doing a nice job of bringing reinforcements on defense. It seems like whenever the Panthers have a little bit of open field to work with, you see a bunch of yellow jerseys swarming to the spot pretty quickly most of the time.
And it's the same thing with Lucia Wells, but yes, 2, 3 Golden Bears jerseys, you see them running back. They understand that Pitt is a lot more accustomed to this field than they are. They're not going to take any chance to let the Panthers equalize.
Three shots aside, 2 on goal for Cal, 1 on goal for the Panthers through the first 30 minutes and change of play. Quickly approaching the tail end of this first half here. Fontana and Kursand will sit out the goal scorer for Cal. Played a really solid half hour for the Golden Bears here in the first half.
Yeah, did exceptionally well to pick up the ball inside a crowded box and calmly put it into the opening of space that was left for her. Not much Abby Rice can do. She tried so hard to scramble back to that spot and make that save, but Kursand just able to finish.
Cal with that 5 or so minute burst of quite a lot of offense, but besides that, both teams not doing a whole lot at the top. Lee and the Panthers trying to change that as they come from outside and try and work their way back into the final third. Rowlands, the pass back out to Archibald. Lee again. Off to Stelzer. Then Abraham. Panthers trying to look for an opening, it seems, on that left side. Cal not giving it to him, though. Stelzer working her way upfield. Looking for Ellermeyer, but again, that pass intercepted. Cal just doing a nice job. Nothing too flashy defensively, just staying at home, intercepting these passes, and making life tough up top for the Panthers as we get a couple substitutions at the end of this first half. Bianchi comes in for Dabo, who will go off as Minot comes in as well for the Panthers. So a couple changes up top, trying to make a final push here in the first half.
Bringing in Hannah Minot for Sage Stelzer means that Lucia Wells is going to push over to that left back side for the next 12 or so minutes. Hannah Minot is a midfielder, scored her first collegiate goal against Bucknell this past Sunday, but she so far has been my favorite newcomer to watch, and honestly, I was quite surprised that she wasn't starting this game. I think for a freshman, she is very good at keeping calm and composed with the ball when she has it in the midfield. She very rarely will turn the ball over. She had a couple really nice through balls on Sunday in that Bucknell game. She does not play like a freshman, that is for sure.
Here's Kloss again. Cal in no real rush at the end of this first half. Got to be happy with their play so far. Only one goal on the board, but they have been really organized and haven't really given up much chance for Pitt to even it up. That one out of play. Hills will take the throw-in after the stoppage. A couple of substitutions on. More movement here for Cal. Mia Van Moore comes on for Kosmeyer, so a change up top there for Cal as well, as Whitaker switches in for Dimry. So both forward groups seeing a couple changes here in the final quarter hour. Rice, the smart clear there. Bouncing ball handled that time by Biankin, and she turns it over quickly. Rourke to Lee, bit of a slow pass there, almost got intercepted, and now it does. Cal working the other way, another chance here at the end of the first half. And the shot goes on, and they score again. It's Fontana off the bench, and Cal's out to a 2-goal lead.
It's a bad giveaway for the Panthers, just plain and simple. A really tough way as the clock winds down on this first half. Nobody is going to be more grateful for the halftime whistle than the Panthers defense right now. This is just, I'm a little bit shocked because the back line just looks really shaky right now. That's an uncharacteristic mistake from the captain, Olivia Lee. And Sophie Rourke, at that point, she's a young player, right? She's still learning, but make the sliding tackle and try to get your foot on the ball. The worst you can do is you're going to get a yellow card. But when you're putting your ball in front of the ball, if you're putting your body in front of the ball and in front of the player, that's not necessarily helping your goalkeeper. That's kind of blocking your goalkeeper's view.
I mentioned it was Lee on the mistake, too. One of the players who Pitt is kind of relying on to not make those kinds of mistakes on the back as well. One of the few returning players to this team. It's been a rough day for Pitt back there. Cal very opportunistic as well, as you see the turnover by Lee.
Just a heavy touch that turns the ball over. I don't know if she wasn't expecting the ball or whatever it was. But again, like you said, just an uncharacteristic mistake. Ever since her freshman year, she has been slotted in the lineup and has performed admirably. So you see that's Mia Fontana's first goal of the season, a couple first. It was Kursand's first. Now Fontana's first goal.
Nice play by Mia Van Moore as well, jumping up to intercept that slow pace pass. The Mia to Mia connection for Cal makes it 2-0. Bond Flashes still putting the pace on the left side, trying to add even another here at the end of a clinical first half for the Golden Bears.
And the Golden Bears are certainly feeling themselves right now. They're not afraid. They said, all right, we got used to the field. That didn't take that long. We got our goal right around the time we said it would take for them to get used to the field. And they've shaken up the Panthers, and I think that they know that.
Fontana, no shortage of energy on the right side for Cal. Made a couple nice moves to alleviate some defenders there. It gets pushed out of play eventually, but Cal still showing some life here in the final 7 minutes and change. Certainly a half that Neil McGuire will be happy with heading to the locker room.
This is one of those games, too, for Neil McGuire as a coach. I'm sure that halftime whistle, when it goes, he's not going to be happy about it because it takes the momentum away from the team. You go into the locker room for, I believe the break is 15 minutes, and you just want to stay out there and continue with the momentum that you do have.
I tell you what, on the Pitt side of things too, going down to the locker room down 1 compared to down 2 is a very different mindset as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the old saying in soccer in general is that 2-0 is the worst lead to have in a soccer game. But when you're at home, the worst thing you can see is that you're down 2-0. And it's been, in all fairness, it's been a really tough home stretch for the Panthers. This is game 5 of a 6-game homestand, which is just totally unheard of in scheduling regardless. But I mean, it's been a really tough break for the Panthers, winless in their last 4 games. Bucknell was that game for me that they really needed to win coming into this ACC gauntlet of a start.
Ellermeyer, another shot from way out, and you are not going to beat Tegan Way from there. Second save for Y on the night, but still not much work for the Cal goalkeeper.
And that's where taking those long shots comes in. Sure, you know, you give up the first goal, you want to take a long shot, you want to have your forwards feeling good, feeling comfortable about taking a shot. Great, now you actually have to build up on those shots.
Maybe another chance here developing for Cal. Deflected into the box, dangerous area for a minute. Van Moore was on it, but Rice able to pick it up. I tell you what, both of those Mias coming into the game for Cal. Thought they might be losing something with Kosmeyer and Kursand coming off, but they certainly have not.
Sophie Rourke was probably happy that a forward wasn't as tall as her for a moment, but the two Mias, Mia Van Moore, Mia Fontana, have just been absolute electric off of the bench. Now Amelie Hopp comes in, looking to add some sort of spark as well, along with Kara Borthwick.
Coco Thistle also out for the final 4 minutes and 20 seconds of this first half. Again, not too much difference on the shot clock. A little bit more in possession, but Cal taking advantage of their opportunities early on.
And the passing right here is just seamless from Cal. Commentator Kershey immediately gives it away, but leading up on that, on that left, I'll call myself out. It's all right. You know you can call me out, Zach. But on that build up, just the dink and dunk pass, inside outside zigzag. I mean, just totally seamless. Golden Bears almost look right at home here at Ambrose Urbanic.
Yeah. Mentioned the difficulty of going from a grass field to a turf field as well. And we were watching in warm-ups, it looked a little on and off with the passing, but no issues whatsoever to speak of for Cal once the whistle blew to start the game.
And they look confident, even before the 2 goals. Coming out, they looked really good. They surely had to feel good. Now they feel certainly even better, but especially when you're the road team, confidence is key, and I think Pitt just kind of needs to build that confidence by building those small passes, doing that dink and dunk style that Cal is so expertly doing right now on Pitt's home field.
Another bit of observation, too. We haven't seen Pitt work up the right as much with Wild. We were talking about her being someone who could maybe provide some offense for the Panthers. We haven't really seen the ball at her feet too much so far in the first half. They've mainly been trying up the left, but it hasn't really worked so far, so maybe an adjustment to be made in the locker room for the Panthers. But Cal will get another opportunity here to add on with a little over 2 to play. You see the Waldrum sitting on the bench there. will be Hills on the ball for the Golden Bears. Free kick opportunity, numbers for both sides in the box. It goes there. Rice having to come off her line. She punches it away. Still free for a second. Goes by her. My goodness, that was close. Right off the line. It was cleared by Wild.
Heads up play from Margaret Wild, not taking any chances. Looked like it could go in or just a bit wide, but she makes that clearance to help out her goalkeeper.
Pitch just a bit sloppy at the back in the early part of this game. Last touch off of Cal. Ellermeyer trying to move quickly on the throw. Minute 15 to play until the break. Rourke over to Archibald. Rourke again over Olivia Lee, now a minute.
I don't know if this is just me, but it looks like Cal is just a step ahead of Pitt. Pitt just looks a half full step slower than Cal. There's been a lot of, again, hesitancy with the ball with the Panthers. It's for a couple of players, it's like they're almost not expecting to get the ball and don't know what the next move is, and that's so important with how fast-paced this game is that you need to know what your next move is going to be. Get control of the ball and then either take it up the left flank or right flank yourself or get rid of it.
The end of a first half that was all California. 2-0 at the break. And for a team struggling a little bit offensively coming into this game, a fast start for the Golden. Cal has had the much better opportunities, dominated possession, and really seem like they're in command of this game heading into half number 2. We will see what kind of adjustments Pitt made at the break with Ben Waldrum at the helm as we get going in the second half. Got to think one of the main things stressed to Pitt in the locker room was sort of limiting those mistakes, something Cal has done very well in the first half of games recently. 6th consecutive match without allowing a first half goal. We stressed the importance early on about getting out to a fast start. Cal has been doing that and then some as of late. Big reason why they haven't lost any of their last 4 games.
Yeah, and they adjusted to the field the way that they were supposed to and expected to, and their confidence is just through the roof right now. Again, playing on the road, that's what you need, is confidence first and foremost. You don't want to feel like the visitor. Right now, it almost looks like Pitt's the visitor. But the sloppy giveaways, as you see one right there, it's just, like you said, Zach, little mistakes piling up. And these were things that needed to be shored up in non-conference play. And it's been a struggle in that first half. I think ever since Biancan came on, Pitt looked a little bit better in the attack. And she stays on to start the second half, but there's just too much touches on the ball. There's too much dribbling the ball. Make those quick passes.
I'll tell you what too, Rachel, it is a tall task being asked to beat Tegan Y twice in a half. Now, 5 halves in a row where she hasn't given up a goal. So Panthers desperately in need of a goal here. We mentioned the decent sized crowd here tonight. A little bit out of it now with the multi-goal lead for Cal, but if they get that next goal, they can get the crowd back into a little bit and work to build the momentum from there.
Well, it's the old tale, too, that we mentioned in the first half, that the worst lead to have in a soccer game is 2-0. It's the most dangerous lead to have, and you know that is certainly something Cal is thinking of because they have come out firing, swinging here.
Crossmeyer opts to pass instead of shoot on the turning opportunity, but going the other way now. Cal trying to dish back to the far side of the post, and that one able to be alleviated by the Panthers and Ellermeyer, who comes out with it. Another turnover there. Sloppy passes for the Panthers, the story of the game.
It almost looks like Pitt is kind of feeling their way around their own field.
How about that move from Dimry to get around Wells there? Can't build much off of it, but the nutmeg there from the Cal winger.
And that just shows you the confidence that Cal is playing with right now in this game.
Abby Rice trying to regroup for the Panthers. Made 2 saves in that first half, allowed 2 by her, but we were talking a little bit during the break. Neither one of those goals really on her much, doing all she really can in net for the Panthers so far tonight. Doherty. Now out with McPherson. Ball's in Pitt's court here in the second half. Cal making all the little passes and doing all the things right where they can just kind of keep the ball to themselves a little bit here and try and run out this clock towards the end. But Pitt certainly has to be the aggressor in half number 2 if they want to try and get away with a point here.
Well, and Pitt needs to come out the second half with some sort of fire. I think right now they just look slow. They're a step behind Cal. Nobody needed that halftime break more than the Panthers, but I mean, just the hesitancy with the ball, the slowness with the ball, the indecision of what to do. This looks a lot better. Now get your numbers up and get a good shot.
Right side, they've got Biankin in the middle. Wild working there, and the shot rolls into the hands of Tegan Y. So a good chance from about halfway up the field, but the Panthers don't really let it develop too much, and another chance by the wayside for Pitt.
I think for that chance, you have to get that ball off a little bit earlier and not kick it directly into the hands of Tegan Y. It's like those long shots that you mentioned earlier, Zach. She's not going to have trouble collecting those. You've got to get something a little bit more threatening, and yes, building that up was a lot better. There wasn't a turnover. You had some connecting passes here. Just taking this ball a little bit too deep right there, right at the top of the box where you have that window open. That's where you need to send the ball in to Biankin or to Lola Abraham or to Katie Ellermeyer.
Pitt has sort of been missing that final pass all season long, and it's really held them back offensively. Same case again tonight here against Cal.
I'm glad to see that Minot is starting the second half as well, because I think she is a player who has helped with those issues with that second and that final pass.
And that's got to be a very happy man there. Coach Neil McGuire assuming some positive things were said in the locker room after a very clean first half from his team.
Just a formation note here that with Minot staying into this game, that leaves Sage Stelzer on the bench to start the second half. So look who just had the ball, Lucia Wells. Where's she at? She's playing in that left back, that left winger role. So again, as you mentioned, that Swiss Army knife player. She's able to move and slot in wherever she's needed. And it takes a special player to not only just be able to play offensive and defensive positions, but play it on both sides of the pitch. Left, right, doesn't matter. She is everywhere, filling in at those spots whenever needed.
Hills to throw in. Does so to a crowd of Panthers. But Cal once again able to win the 50-50 ball, and Dimry's going the other way. Dimry's got some room here on the right side, looking for the cross, and it's deflected out of play that time by Olivia Lee. Another corner coming, or excuse me, a goal kick is actually deflected off of Dimry on the way out, it seems. Looks like it might be a threatening opportunity there for Cal once again, but able to defuse that time is the Panther back line. Lola Abraham. Some green space in front of her, but a nice job working back the other way by McPherson that time to take it away.
And McPherson's speed can't be underestimated. Lola Abraham beat her on the turn, but McPherson catches up and makes a play to get that ball back. Just needs to be quicker from the Panthers. And listen, I get it. You know, the college schedule is brutal, right? I mean, this is, as we mentioned, game 5 of a 6-game homestand. There's games on Sundays and Thursdays and Sundays and Thursdays. It's an exhausting schedule, but Cal is playing a very similar schedule, and they just look so fast. I don't know what's in the water or whatever it may be in California, but they just look quicker and more composed and more organized.
Especially at the back as well. Some of the issues we've seen. There's the announcer jinx again. A chance maybe here in the middle for the Panthers. Ellermeyer again shoots it high, but that one really one of the first times we've seen Cal make a bad pass at the back tonight, but Panthers trying to get an opportunity there. Not so much developing that one.
Yeah, and over 50 minutes, and that's the first rough pass that you make. I think.
Of course, it's right when I say it, too. You know, that's always how that works.
Always the commentator curse.
Yeah.
We're tied in that
department.
I
was going to say, we're each at 1.
That score is tied up there.
We're each at 1. Here's Wells. Dimry pushing it back, but Lee composing and giving back to Rice. Cal pressuring again that Pitt back line, but they get the whistle, so Pitt will have some space to breathe.
Look at this speed from Margaret Wild.
Nice touch there by Wild to get some space in the middle off to Wells, but she once again is swarmed by 3 Golden Bears in that one. A 9-iron into the hands of Tegan Y.
Lola Abraham trying to make some space up here as Margaret Wild comes flying in.
Nice touch there especially.
Nice ball. Just has 2 defenders sandwiched in against her. Not able to get that ball off cleanly back towards the goal. You have to settle the ball and try to get a shot on goal, but it's a little bit tough when you're sandwiched in between 2 yellow jerseys.
Another whistle goes the way of Cal this time. Just under 35 minutes to play. So first 10 minutes out of the locker room for both of these sides, and Cal seems like they're pretty happy where this game's at right now. Pace not too high for either team, and just trying to settle things down here and get out of here with a win.
But still able to pressure too, which is always good. You never want to sit back and just let the teams come to you, because again, that's where that 2-0 lead starts to get scary. And like you mentioned, you get one shot, get the crowd back into it.
Another chance on the counter here. Deflection off the crossbar and in front of the net. That one coming off the foot of Kosmeyer that time. Might have hit that far post. But another really quality chance for the Golden Bears. Took a deflection on the way, and they were that close to goal number 3.
Kosmeyer so close to putting this game away. If you think 2 goals against Tegan Y is a tough feat to achieve, try having to do 3 of them.
Whistle blown again, and that one in favor of the Panthers. Taking a look at that another chance here from Kosmeyer off the foot of the defender that time as well.
Yeah, it clips off the foot. Looks like of Sophie Rourke, and just so lucky to hit the post there. Abby Rice was in a good spot, but I don't think she anticipated the ball clipping off of Rourke's foot. Could have been dangerous.
Wells puts a cross in, and nobody home to receive that in a black jersey. 2 goals in the last 4 games for the Panthers. More of the same here in the ACC opener. Just trying to get something going from an offensive standpoint.
Sophie Rourke just absolutely taking the space that they are giving her.
Wild again trying to slice her way into the slot. Hard contact there, no foul. Mentioned Sophie Rourke potentially on a minutes limit tonight. They've been limiting her play recently. She has played every minute of the game so far, and she's done so pretty well. Had that one error on the second goal, but has picked things up since then.
Yeah, in a perfect world, she would have gotten a full rest on Sunday against Bucknell, but Pitt struggled in that second half, had to bring Rourke in. Ben Waldrum said she's still going through some growing pains. She's a freshman, she's a young kid playing on this team. Still going through. He said it's all about protecting her and making sure that she's healthy and she's able to grow and mature into the type of player that they need her to be, both physically and mentally.
Dabo in, Minogue out at the 31-minute mark.
Dabo's a transfer from Jacksonville, one of the international players on this roster from France, trained with a little-known team called Paris Saint-Germain in their academy team. She's actually playing more of an attacking role, but Dabo is a player with her speed and her agility that she's able to get up and down the midfield like crazy. She's able to slot in and help on defense, as you see her on your screen now running back.
Dabo, one of the players who Ben Waldrum said would be a big part of how successful this team would be. Hasn't probably played as much as they were maybe expecting in the early going. Few players he mentioned that to be the case with as well. One of the others, Lucia Wells, as well as Lola Abraham. A lot of the newcomers just getting more significant minutes than they've been used to in prior seasons.
A lot of newcomers too being international as well. You've got Aaliyah Jaidi from Morocco, got a couple Canadians with Biancan coming in. Minot is a Canadian. Canadian roots, very, very deep with this Pitt women's soccer program. All-time leading scorer Amanda West, Canadian. Chloe Minas, who has owned the midfield for years upon years, was Canadian. And of course, you've got that Nigerian connection as well, thanks to Randy Waldrum. And was so good on Sunday against Bucknell to see a player like Celine Ota get minutes again after just the journey she has had to go through with tearing her ACL and the recovery and the setbacks and everything. You couldn't be happier for a player to get the significant time that she got against Bucknell. But Pitt hoping that pair of substitutes coming in, one of them being Sophia Doney, an attacking player, was out for a little bit with an injury, came back against Bucknell, got some minutes, trying to see if they can get an offensive spark here.
See Doney on your screen there, number 7 in black. And Stelzer, who played some extended minutes in the first half as well. Nice one-touch pass there from Ellermeyer to Stelzer. Got some space, shot blocked on the way. Doney looking for the rebound. Stelzer again with a chance in the middle, but cleared away by Cal for the moment.
And you wonder if Stelzer coming in means that her and Lucia Wells are going to switch positions.
Thistle slowing things down and curling back. Talked about her in the open. Haven't said her name too much for Cal. Talking about Coco Thistle. As you see Stage Seltzer there. One of the returning players on this Pitt team. Foss back to the outside. Archibald deflects that out of play. You got to think Pitt needs a goal soon if they want to try and crawl their way back to level. Maybe a chance in transition here. Doney giving chase, fresh legs off the bench. Doesn't win the race to the ball that time, though, as Reese Doherty was the first person to the spot. Nice little play there by McPherson to get around a defender. She'll give to Dimry. Strong touch that time on the pass by Rowlands. Kind of leaves Lucia Wells in no man's land, and another turnover for the Panthers.
I hate to add insult to injury, but with all the turnovers for the Panthers, guess who they have on Sunday? Stanford. Oof. You can't be making these types of turnovers against one of the best programs in women's soccer. Obviously, a program with immense success over the last couple of years. And just silly turnovers. That Stanford team is going to make you pay, more so than Cal has. Cal obviously giving Pitt a heck of a test tonight.
Wild's got Doney on her left. Gets around a defender. Working that right side, but again, Cal swarming and able to get that ball out of dangerous area. And now they're working the other way. Dimry again. Pass a little far for Whitaker on the far side of the field, but does the job nonetheless, and Cal will keep possession in the corner. Really in no need of another goal at this point, but certainly take one if they can get it.
And that's what Whitaker's saying right there, like, hey, slow down. We don't need to be throwing our bodies around. They've got a game against Clemson on Sunday. Certainly, like you said, they will take another goal, but I think even more so than the goals, on the road, Cal has to be thrilled with the fact that right now, at least standing, they have a clean sheet.
Olivia McPherson giving back, and she gets it back to her. Nice move to get around Stelzer. I tell you what, Olivia McPherson has looked really good out there for Cal.
She has had an excellent second half here. She didn't really hear her name too much in the first half, as there's a lot of jersey tugging between both Doney and...
It's like Kivo for
yeah.
Cal.
Just making sure they can feel each other's presence, surely. But McPherson has been flying everywhere during this half, especially. By the way, both of these two, their opponents are playing each other as well tonight, Stanford and Clemson. Clemson now tied it up with Stanford down in South Carolina, so that's certainly one that you want to keep an eye on.
Dangerous ball in the box there. Dimry was under it, but the flag goes up for offsides as Kostmeyer is slow to get back to her feet. Another careless turnover in the back for the Panthers. Stelzer giving chase, can't run that one down. Just the kind of mistakes you're not used to seeing from a Pitt team.
And this is a totally new Pitt team. It's young, it's inexperienced. And sure, they've gotten some transfers, right? But those are transfers that are getting used to, they're international, most of them. They are getting used to each other. The preseason for college is incredibly short.
Stelzer on the run, but the defender had a step on her, and Y had a step on both of them. As the Cal goalkeeper once again doing all the little things right. Stelzer still in possession, nice move there to get some space into the box, and it goes in! The Panthers get a goal seemingly out of nowhere. It's Ellermeyer, and that lead is cut in half.
It's like you said, Zach, you get that goal to kind of cut the lead in half here. Listen to the crowd. The crowd is right back into it, and that is what Pitt need. Cal's regrouping, and Katie Ellermeyer, she scored a couple this season. She has been so quiet recently. And Sage Stelzer.
What a play here.
With an incredible pass for somebody who is a defender, and she switched roles now with Lucia Wells. Katie Ellermeyer with some calm composure to put this one away.
How good is that, too? Might have gone off the defender.
It might
Tough
be
to
an
tell
own
there.
goal. I think technically they will give it to Ellermeyer, but from what everything we can see,
Ellermeyer doesn't really look like she knows what happened either on the replay
yeah,
there.
I think that's a Bond Plaza goal. They're gonna usually, especially in college soccer, they give it to the attacking player, but I think from the eagle eye, that is more so an own goal, but still, it counts all the same, and it gets Pitt right back into this game. It gets the crowd back into this game.
Goes into the books as Ellermeyer's 5th of the year. We mentioned 4 coming in, led the team there. Extending on that lead is the freshman from San Diego. Sort of getting revenge on her home state, maybe?
Getting revenge on a lot of players from her home state with how local Cal's roster is.
Rice, far post, free ball. Wow, didn't look like that one had a chance at first, but that one almost got past the goal line.
That's almost identical to how Bucknell scored on Sunday. Off a floater that didn't even look like it would make it and just happened to sneak into goal, but well done from the goalkeeper to get her hands on that one.
So all of a sudden, Pitt with a little bit of momentum. Offensively, not much going in the second half, makes a couple changes up top, and they get a little bit of energy back, trying to build off of that here in the final 20 minutes and change of this game. Ellermeyer with some speed going the other way now, but Cal able to slow things down again. McPherson back on the ball. Fontana, one of the goal scorers for Cal. Currently in possession of the game-winning goal. Number 7 in gold, back in possession again. Nice pass back to McPherson, looking for the middle. Nice play, Dabo to clear out.
I think the big thing for Cal right now is don't get flustered. Don't get flustered here. A couple early touches of the ball, just...
This was weird.
That was a very strange goal, and you can't even tell right away if Rice gets her hand on that one or not. It almost looks like just barely her fingertip, but Cal is kind of bobbling the ball here a little bit. Pitt has a little bit of a pep in their step as they almost get the turnover there. Pitt has some momentum now. What can they do with it? That momentum will go right away if Pitt starts doing exactly what they did right there and just giving up the ball with these sloppy passes.
Panthers trying to give themselves a chance. Fontana working on Stelzer. One-touch pass looking in the middle for Van Moore, but it can't find her. Nice play by Abby Rice coming off her line again there. 20 minutes to play. A glimmer of hope now at home here for the Panthers in the conference opener. Certainly be all hands on deck here in the final 20 minutes for Ben Waldrom's squad. Doney giving chase to Y, forcing a quick pass out.
Look at Mario Amadabo absolutely flying in.
And that forced the turnover. These Panther subs coming off the bench have looked quick. Talked about how they were like a step behind Cal in that first half. Not the case here in half number 2 so far.
And substitutes are only going to help in this game, getting fresh legs on the pitch, frustrating Cal a little bit with some different styles of play. I think around the 10-minute mark, if you're still down 1 goal, I would like to see as you get a really rough turnover from Rice, the top of the box here, but 10 minutes in this game is still 2-1. I'd like to see maybe Celine Ota and Aaliyah Jaidi come in this game. Jaidi is a player that I really enjoy watching. She is not afraid to put her body on the line at all. She is ultra aggressive and just gives you that spark. She's got a nice little bit of speed as well to her. Ben Waldrum, he called Celinota a playmaker. He said, we're trying to find spots to put her in. Obviously a player that you want to be careful with coming off of that ACL injury and just numerous setbacks.
Here you see Katie Zalski on the bench as well. Haven't seen her this season. Along with others seeing if their name gets called in the final 18 minutes to try and tie this game up. Dabo, now to Rowlands. Looking for Stelzer on the left, can't find her. Contact from Ellie Rowlands. Cal playing the advantage for a second, but the whistle blows eventually. And they will get a free kick. It'll be wide to take it. Coming from goal. Make no mistake, after that first goal from the Panthers, Cal certainly on the hunt for goal number 3. Nice play by Lee. Keep that ball from going into a dangerous area. Fontana working the near side of the field. Looking for a call maybe there, and she doesn't get one in the penalty area, but it ends up being a good defensive play for the Panthers. Take another look here.
Rowlands and Lucia Wells double teaming it. Rowlands, well done, getting her foot on the ball.
Always pretty risky making a physical play down there, but Rowlands does it masterfully. And now Wild. Minogue. Working into the box, Minogue deflects that one off of a Cal defender, and Pitt's got a corner. Just their second corner kick of the night.
Here comes Sophie Rourke and Olivia Lee, players who have height and have, in Olivia Lee's experience, had some success on some corner kicks.
Margaret Wild to take as well.
Stelzer and Archibald are the players that are behind to help Abby Rice in case Cal gets their foot on this ball.
Pass coming in, a lot of heads in the box there, and a push-off called, and Cal can breathe a little bit easier now. At least for the moment.
Looked like the push-off was called on Sophie Rourke, but to be totally honest with you, I didn't see too much there.
Yeah.
It was a nice ball from Margaret Wild regardless. Almost makes you wish there were more corners in this match, because Pitt has, between Margaret Wild and Katie Ellermeyer, the corner kicks have looked really, really good.
Yeah, certainly a competitive ball put into the mix there by Margaret Wild, who refueling there on the sideline.
Looks like Ben Waldrum, the coaching staff, just got a, Pitt bench just got a yellow card. But I will say, if Coach Waldrum, both Waldrums or Jessie Goldman or Bria Line are making a case for, hey, there's time wasting going on here. There is a new rule in soccer that I believe it's you have 8 seconds to get rid of the ball or else you're going to get carded. And I think I've always been a believer of the time wasting rule needing to be enforced.
Rowlands trying to quickly line up for the free kick. After Doney was fouled, it'll be her switching with Stelzer now on the ball. Ben Waldrum trying to make some changes here in the final 15 or so of play. Full speed ahead now for the Panthers, looking for goal number 2 to even this game up. Ball ends up on the outside of the box. Wild turning, trying to find Dabo on the receiving end of that one, and she can't. And now Cal works the other way. Certainly has been Pitt on the offensive in recent minutes, something we really haven't been able to say too much in other portions of this game, but Desperate times call for desperate measures from the Panthers.
And to be totally fair, now it's both teams giving up the ball, where Cal in the first half was looking certainly more crisp and more solid in their passes. Both teams have been sloppy with giving the ball away.
Rourke to Wild. She's been the facilitator in the second half for Pitt. A heavy pass that time. Doney giving chase, and she will lose the race to the end line.
Pitt, it looks like they've got 3 players coming in now, making substitutions.
Both coaches trying to make the right moves at the end of this second half. Cal has had a series of draws as of late, trying to get the full 3 points here in Pittsburgh while Pitt tries to get back on track. Now would be a great time to do so at the start of ACC play. As we'll have a review here. Not exactly sure what they're reviewing here. It looks like it might be a clock issue. I was going to say, I don't think I missed anything there that would be worthy of review from a play standpoint, but just trying to get all the little details right here in a critical 13-23 stretch for both of these teams. So we will resume play. Why with the goal kick fielded by Lee.
Great ball from Olivia Lee there.
Dabo, who's been all over it in the second half, forces the foul. Rourke off to Lee. Dabo in the midfield pulls it back. And we'll regroup with the freshman Pitt defender Rourke. Ellermeyer back onto the field for Pitt giving chase. Stelzer running that one down, and it will go out of play. I tell you what, Sage Stelzer has provided a jolt off the bench for this Pitt team.
Yeah, and she's showing that Lucia Wells isn't the only versatile player playing up and down and up and down.
Biankin on the outside, really good job there again by McPherson. Stelzer on goal, but nobody there for the Panthers to make it anything more than a one-hopper to Tegan Y.
Pitt needing to get just simply more numbers into that box. You've got to trust your back line to be ready for the counterattack. And I think Pitt's back line has played admirably well here in the second half. As you see 2 very different reactions to that call. The Cal bench very happy and the Pitt bench not so much.
Every call critical at this point in the game.
Certainly Ben Waldrum vocalizing, hey, they're wasting time. They got to go. They got to move. They can't just dilly-dally with the ball and the placement of the ball. I mean, this is almost 10 seconds that's taken off here. That's an area where the referee needs to shore that up.
McPherson crosser deflected on the way as Fontana gets a foot on that, but Olivia Lee there again. Cal looking for a handball potentially there, but Stelzer trying to run it down. Thistle beats her there and puts it out of play. 10.5 to play. Ellermeyer going back up the field for the Panthers. Wild trying to shoulder that one down to her feet. Goes a little far that time. And Hills clears. Lee goes to the inside of Fontana. Panthers still trying to break through. Under 10 to play. Fontana off to Thistle. Kosmeyer and Lee on the outside. Lee wins the race as she slides and takes a minute to get her bearings.
I think one area where the Panthers have struggled this year exceptionally, and I don't want to misname a player because I couldn't quite see who it was there on that left side, but there's been a lot of standing and waiting for the ball, not going to the ball. And each and every time, whether it be Cal or Bucknell, Cal State Fullerton did this a lot, just the easy interception of the ball. You have to go to the ball. You have to collect it. You can't wait for it to come to you. Cal has shown throughout these past 80, 82 minutes that they are a fast team.
Lee playing a much better second half here. Another good defensive play from her.
And that's what you want to see from your captain, is you want to see her rebound after a shaky first half. She has been wonderful in the second half with just communicating, leading the team. Her play speaks for itself here in the second half. She has done very, very well. And that's the type of maturity that you want to see from your captain.
Another corner kick opportunity for Cal. Under 10 to play. Far post still in play. That one along the line and able to be cleared. Here comes Stelzer out of the back. Almost got to that one in time. And a foul as Ellermeyer draws it, and Pitt with a little bit of energy working out of their own end. Abraham now with Wild and some room to work. Excuse me, Archibald trying to find Wild on the right side, and she can, and another progressive opportunity for the Panthers sniffed out. They get back in possession though with Abraham. Looking back for Abraham, but Bond Flasha there marks her and it goes out of play. Panthers need something and they need it soon. Goal scoring so far tonight, the first two from Cal, Kursand and Fontana, who came into the game for Kursand after she was subbed out. Getting Cal out to that early lead, but Katie Ellermeyer bringing Pitt back to a point where one goal can tie it up. Rice held for a second, but wisely there to clear the danger. Clock will stop. As the ball goes out of play, we will get a substitution for Cal, and it is Kursand, the goal scorer, coming in for the other goal scorer, Mia Fontana. Both have played tremendously in this game.
Kursand has had that time to rest, coming in with fresher legs. Cal refusing to sit back. It's been very back and forth this second half with Pitt gets a chance, Cal gets a chance. Kursand looking to get on the end of one of those California chances.
Lee, Ellermeyer, a lot of real estate in the middle. Does well with it, the pass to Dabo and some danger there. Can't quite put it where she wants it, but still the Panthers in possession with Stelzer. Just over 6 to play. Lee to Dabo. In for Minogue. Stelzer on the run again. Puts it across, and Y makes the save.
And that was a great ball starting from Minot, going down to Stelzer, who is having just an absolute monster of a second half here. She's been excellent, but this ball, it all starts from Hannah Minot. What did we say earlier? She gets those through balls.
Same way their first goal was set up, too, off the left foot of Stelzer.
And as much as they are favoriting that left side, oftentimes Maya Archibald and Margaret Wild have been in no man's land by themselves over on that right side. But Pitt still showing favoritism to that left side, and if it works, hey, don't fix it.
Lee delays the touch for a second there, and it went out of play. Cal will have a throw-in on the near side of the field as we hit the 5-minute mark in half number 2. California trying to put the finishing touches on a win to open conference play. Ellermeyer off to Archibald. Looking for Biankin, finds her. Biankin goes down, no whistle. They play on. Out of play, Panthers trying to rush this throw in. Maybe did so a little bit too much there, but Dabo around to recover. Cal wins it back and kicks it out of play.
A little bit less than 4 minutes to go. It's like you said, Pitt needs something and they need it now, and a handball off the elbow of Margaret Wild is certainly not what they need. Because look, California is just going to take their time.
Oh yeah.
They're going to take a good 8 to 10 seconds off of the clock here. Nothing the coaching bench can say about it because they're already sitting on that yellow card.
Yep. That one bounces past Archibald, trying to gain control in the corner. Just over 3 minutes to play. Cal would certainly be happy with keeping the ball in this half of the field for those final 3 minutes. Panthers with that chance about 4 minutes ago. On the cross from Sage Stelzer. Didn't quite get through, but that's the best opportunity they've had since scoring that goal. Kersand. Ellermeyer trying to tiptoe the line with that pass up the left side, but can't quite do so. McPherson maybe conveniently dropping the ball there on the throw-in, but as she kicks it out of play again.
Can't even blame it on the rain.
Yeah.
It's a perfect night here.
Final 2 minutes of play in Pittsburgh. Lee with the heave up field. Cal really just trying to sit on this now. Panthers really need to try and get that ball to the middle of the field. Been working this sideline for a little bit too long, and Cal's just going to keep doing that.
I'm a little curious to why on these throws they haven't swung it more. Over to the right, you've got Sophie Rourke and Maya Archibald just standing there, looking, pleading with Olivia Lee. Get us the ball, we'll swing it.
Under 90 seconds to play. Rice up the right side. Panthers still struggling to sustain possession here for too long. Dimry. Panthers back in possession, trying to build from the back with a minute left to play in the second half. Ellermeyer lets that one go by her. Out of play again. Lee trying to get the ball in quickly on the near side of the field. That one off of Stelzer, and that's a big one because Cal's going to get a throw in now. .30 seconds to play. They're going to blow the whistle and stop the clock. As they finally do throw it in. Dabo trying to win the race there. Panthers 15 seconds to work their way upfield.
The last opportunity here. What can Pitt do with it?
Minot. A Hail Mary up ahead. Gets to the outside of the box, but that is as far as they will go. California coming on the road to Pittsburgh. Their first ever trip to Pitt ends in a 2-1 victory to start ACC play.
And it certainly was not a pretty win, or excuse me, a pretty loss from the Panthers, especially